The debut. The first chance to make a good impression on your skills with the field. Sometimes you can be like Connor Zillage and lead half the laps and win the race in his NASCAR Xfinity Series debut. Other times, well, it cannot go out so well. But there was one debut that happened in the recent years that went very under the radar with a driver that performed above his equipment, yet nobody remembered him and has not made a start since. I'm talking about George Gorham Jr. In the springtime of 2021, during the Martinsville race, DGM Racing had an opening for its number 90 car. Mario Goslin, the team owner, turned to his brother-in-law, George Gorham Jr., to fill in the seat. Gorham Jr. got some sponsorship to put on the number 90 car, and even a few friends helped chip him in. Before the Martinsville race, Gorham Jr. never raced a NASCAR or even an ARCA, but he has raced in late models before. Now, with the taunting task of never turning a lap before he had to start the race, what was his expectations coming into the race weekend? I asked him.
To finish. That's really it. Never did a live pit stop before, never been down pit road, pit road speed before. In our racing, when a caution comes out, you spin back around, you get going, you get your spot back. In that racing, you don't. You go laps down. See if you're spun out in the corner, and So I my expectations was to finish, and I was, I didn't have really high. I thought top 20 would be great. But I'd never imagined we run in the top 10 like we did for the stages that we ran, especially starting in the back.
With NASCAR set in the field with metric qualifying, George Gorham Jr. had the disadvantage of not running the prior weekend, with not having a fastest lap or a finish position to weigh his starting position. Therefore, he started all the way back to 37th. He worked his way up to 34th before the competition caution and gained 4 spots on the pit stops up to 30th position. He passed 3 more cars before the next cautions for the 99 of Stephen Parsons. Gorham Jr. pitted during the 4th caution of the day when Michael Annett spun before the end of stage 1. With only a few laps left, Gorham Jr. stayed out for the next caution, which became the end of stage 1, and was in the top 15. Before the rains came, Gorham Jr. only faded back to 19th. When the race continued the next day, Gorham Jr. restarted up to 14th after cars in front of him pitted, and only slipped back to 20th. With 15 laps to go in the stage, Gorham Jr.'s teammate Josh Williams had a tire go down after contact with another car and spun. Strategy flipped, as it was about a 50-50 with cars pitting and not pitting. Gorham Jr. talks about staying out before the end of stage 2.
It was a hard decision, but I figured the car was good enough to run up there. That place don't chew tires up like a lot of tracks do. And we weren't that bad off on tires coming through the field because we were pretty patient as it was. Their biggest thing is our cars, we shift, 7,200, 7,300, whatever. Them cars, you got to shift way late. The restarts, they were beating me up pretty bad because I was trying to learn how to drive the car along with, you know, shifting restarts and stuff like that. It's a totally different animal than I've ever drove before. So we were pretty patient getting through the field. I didn't feel like we hurt the tires any, and which we didn't. It showed because we ran there that whole stage.
The number 90 car lined up in ninth position with 8 laps left in stage 2. With 5 laps to go, Gorham Jr. and J.J. Yaley made contact in the front stretch. The TV network even noticed Gorham Jr. running well. With the number 90 car having a buffer between those who did and did not pit, he had to make sure to stay in the top 10 in order to get stage points, and to fight off drivers that did pit, like Josh Berry in the 8 and Justin Haley in the number 11. Coming to the line to finish stage 2, Gorham Jr. was in the middle of a 3-wide finish, with Yaley on the outside and Berry trying to pass on the inside. Gorham Jr. ended up with 2 stage points. What stood out to George Gorham Jr. during his Xfinity Series debut?
It was, I didn't realize them guys used the bumper pretty good in that class. So when I got up there where I did, Noah Grexon gave me the boot, and I was like, wow, dang, okay, they do drive like that. It's kind of like they move you out of the way because it's a one groove place. But it ended up not being a one groove place because I passed a lot of cars on the outside too. But I got as the race went on, the more comfortable I got, and I started using the nose a little bit. I mean, we didn't do nothing to tear it up. You know, we put little dents or whatever in it. Nothing major. The car came home in one piece, and I think we did outstanding for our first debut in a Xfinity slash O'Reilly car.
After stage two, Gorham Jr. would run between 16th and 26th position on the racetrack and pitted with the leaders to the next to the last caution when the number 23 and the '07 wrecked in turn 4. Gorham Jr. was able to finish on the lead lap and was able to score the third best finish for DGM on an oval that season.
So the only thing that really wasn't that really kind of stuck out a little bit was I wish we would have got to finish the race the way we were running. It got rained out. We stopped on Friday and then we started back on Sunday. I think we definitely would have had a top 10 finish at that point if we would have kept the race going like we were because we were headed in that direction. But it was awesome to be able to run with guys like that do it every week, and that was just a one off deal. I mean, I was shocked to be able to compete with them at that level. The team we have, DGM is a good team. They have great equipment. They just don't have the funds like a Hendricks or a Haas or a Roush or nobody like that.
So, only start in NASCAR so far. Where are you now, and do you have any plans getting back behind the wheel or doing anything with that?
So the plans are I'd like to run 5 truck races. I bought a short track truck. Like I said, it's at Nice right now, getting a body and getting all the updates put on it. They're putting the motor and all that, getting it all ready. There is a seat available for me at Iowa in O'Reilly's car for DGM again. I just trying to get some sponsorship together to run these big races. It's what it takes.